Dear me. I forgot to mention in my last video the other petition that I've got, and that is to the police force and the RSPCA to encourage them to go vegan. Basically, what I find quite confusing, as probably many vegans do, is that the RSPCA are charging people for animal abuse, say to one dog or one cat, when they're actually eating hundreds of abused animals and murdered animals every year who go through more torture and more pain than the one dog that was abused. So, like, the root cause of violence, we need to address where's it coming from and why do people act violently or abusive towards certain forms of life. And the logical explanation would be because we're kind of teaching them from a young age disassociation from life and disrespect for life, disregard for life, by feeding violence to these children on their plates in schools. And society, parents are doing it because they've learned something that's wrong, morally wrong. And then the cycle continues until someone wakes up and realizes that they've been taught something that's quite bad, really, quite bad. I say quite bad. That is affecting a lot of human beings. People are getting diseases from it. People are stressed out, traumatized by it, i.e., vegans. And the animals are obviously suffering, and they're our main point and our main cause and why we do this. We don't do it for ourselves. Vegans don't usually do it for their own health, although that's a good factor to go vegan, but we do it because of the morally right thing to do for animals, and we believe in animal rights, and they all have a right to live free from pain and suffering, and they all have the capability to love, to fear, to feel pain, just like we do. So we take ourselves out of that cycle of abuse. What's also kind of confusing is psychologists. They are counselling people for, say, hurting a human being when they have actually started off hurting animals first. If that's the case, the fact that there's a link between animal and human suffering and these animal abusers go on to harm humans, then why we're killing animals to eat them? Because, again, that is reinstating the idea violence towards life and encouraging that and teaching that. And don't we want to be encouraging and teaching the opposite, which is non-violence and regard for life? And whatever energy we're giving out, we will see coming back into the world. And we can't point the finger at someone who's abusing a dog or a cat when we're also having a lack of regard for life and disrespect for life, can we? We need to be good role models and be the change that we wish to see in the world. And we need to go vegan. So the police force are very contradictory and hypocritical, arresting people, which they're going by the law, what the law says, but the law doesn't always have to be right, does it? Just because someone says something's right doesn't mean it is right. I mean, people have been sent to jail by judges, people judging them in the courtrooms for abuse of a one dog or a cat, while they're going home and eating in these animals that have been worse abused. Where's the fairness in that? You're the one who's taught them the disregard for life in the first place and the violence. Doesn't make sense, does it? So that's my other petition, and I encourage you to sign it. I've got 3 petitions. I've got one to the police force and RSPCA, stop the hypocrisy and contradictoriness, and be good role models. And also psychologists can be included in that, teachers in schools. But it will be sent to the head of the RSPCA and the police force. Got one to the churches. Christians, please live your values of peace, compassion and mercy and stop slaughtering animals, paying for animals to be slaughtered and abused. And then there's one to the hospitals to encourage them to get vegan food on the menu and to promote veganism in hospitals, like you would promote non-smoking, and you don't let people smoke on their premises. So those are my 3 petitions. This one, obviously, I've been speaking more about the RSPCA police force, and which it is aimed at. The other petitions are there if you'd like to sign them. Thank you.